Houston will be without their starting point guard in Layla Blair. She got injured yesterday in practice, taking a knee to the thigh. She will be unavailable for the Cougars. And remember, she missed the first 2 games to start the season due to a concussion, and the Cougars went 0-2 without her. Ashley Chevalier will be taking over at the point. You guys were down by 13 and find a way to win this one in overtime. What did it take?
Everybody right here, that's all it took. The coaches, from our hearts to our minds, mentally prepared, got to fight back to get back in the game, and that's what we did.
What is the message sent now that you knock off the 1 seed in the tournament?
This ain't nothing new. We knew this was going to happen.
Freshman Emily Rodriguez has had quite the journey to UCF. She started playing basketball in the Dominican Republic at 12, and she had to grow up playing against the boys because there was not an organized all-girls team at the time. And then in 2020, she began training privately with the uncle of Boston Celtics center Al Horford, the 5-time NBA All-Star. And she got to the point to where she said she wanted to come to the United States, so she moved to Miami in February of 2022 all alone, and said the transition was difficult because of the language barrier, as you can imagine, but she has handled all of the adversity. At this point in the season, head coach David Rare is looking for his team to keep applying the pressure. And 1, don't terminate the play too fast, and 2, serve with intent to disrupt. Now, how they've practiced those serves in practice this week is they brought out these giant wooden box platforms to use as targets. Coach, you guys found a way to break down the press a little bit better in the second quarter. How do you generate more scoring in the second half?
Well, you got to take care of the ball, first of all.
Knowing the concept, how do you slow down their 2 guards?
Well, that's the biggest thing.
Brooke, tell us a little bit more about Houston's season overall.
Yeah, this season hasn't gone the way Coach Vesely or the Houston Cougars would have liked it to, with only 4 wins in conference play. Coach, you get your first 2 hits of the game in the bottom of the 4th, score a run. What adjustments were made in this inning?
Well, he's good. We've been missing middle pitches for 3 innings.
You had 2 reviews in this one, especially the one at the beginning that was a really long layoff in the game. How did that affect Paul Schmitz on the mound? And then what are your expectations for the freshman Hoffman the rest of the way in this one? Paul Schmitz is in his 3rd season at Houston, and you might be wondering, how did he get here from Bonn, Germany? Well, a former Cougar who used to play on the German national team was on the phone with Coach Whitting one day, and Coach Whitting said, hey, is there a guy on that German national team who, 1, wants to come play in the Big 12 and also has the credentials to be able to play in the U.S.? And he told him about a kid who was 1 year older than him named Paul Schmitz. So Coach Whittington went online and was able to find him throwing bullpens on YouTube and recruited him that way, and quickly found out that he had a 92, 94 mile-an-hour arm who was dying to come to play in the U.S.
Well, I ain't sure I deserve it, but you can't take it away from me, buddy. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, you absolutely are deserving. We are so grateful and blessed that you are here with us now on the TV side of things, but I want to dive into that a little bit deeper. What did it mean to have your 2 former players with you for that announcement for the Hall of Fame? The unassuming superstar is how West Virginia head coach Mark Kellogg described senior guard J.J. Quinterly. She's currently on 5 watch lists, which includes the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list. She's also 5th in the nation in steals per game and has been a staple on offense. Houston will likely try to defend Ayoka Lee by committee. Lee actually holds the NCAA record in most points scored in a single game with 61 points. Yeah, it happened after the Baylor series with Houston moving the infield around. The Cougs starting shortstop, Kaylee Prudhomme, got injured, so Coach Vesely moved Mandy Essman from second over to short and then put Bethany Aguilar at second. It's a position she is familiar with. To start the year, Aguilar was the starting second baseman, but then caught the flu in the middle of the season. Mandy Essman then earned the starting job, and Aguilar has been chomping at the bit to get that spot back. You had to watch your team lose in the first round of the SWAC tournament last year, dealing with a season-ending knee injury. You now get to push them into the semifinals. How meaningful is this for you? Bethune-Cookman is hoping that Ajahnay Nicholson can have one of those career nights. She's second in the country in double-doubles this year with 21, just behind LSU's Anissa Morrow, who has 27. Coach, congratulations. You told me heading into March, the message was march on. I think you guys displayed that with your fight in this one. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, we could have laid down there.
Coach, I'm seeing tears well up in your eye. Where's this emotion coming from?
A lot of hard nights, long mornings, but we're proud to be here.
Their 25 turnover average ranks third best in the nation, but for Coach Kellogg, he'd like to see more of those turnovers equate to points on the other end. He told us this week that as they look to set themselves up for success in the postseason, their defense needs to do a better job of leading the offense. Coach, you said at halftime you wanted to see your group pick up the pace. How do you think they responded?
Yeah, the third quarter was pretty good. I thought we shared the ball again.
Yeah, sharing it. You had 4 players in double figures. You wanted to see an uptick in offensive production from your group, especially late in the season. How do you now continue this in your 3-game road stand? With all of these position changes, you know that comes with stress and the unknown, especially as a freshman. Before the BYU series, they lost their shortstop. And so for the first time all season, Coach Sabins hit Gavin Kelly ground balls in pregame batting practice and asked if he could play second. Kelly said, "No problem, Coach."
Look, Aaliyah Love knows that the expectations are going to be high for her night in and night out. She's the X factor for Houston, but sometimes she allows her emotions to get the better of her.
Coach, dominant start to the series. Your team scores 9 runs on 15 hits. How confident are you in your lineup top to bottom?
Really love the lineup.
And you guys have the lowest team ERA in the conference. How much of an impact does Griffin Kern have on that number?
He's been our ace and our Friday night starter.
Griffin, you go 6 with 5 strikeouts. What was working so well for you tonight?
It was my slider and fastball command. I felt like I was getting ahead and staying ahead and being able to finish guys off later in at-bats.
You've got to be feeling good. You just come off your best outing as a Mountaineer against Utah with 14 strikeouts. This is also your first time playing Division I baseball. How are you feeling right now at this point?
It's pretty exciting.
Valencia Pierre might be small, but she is mighty, and she is deceptively quick. Her head coach told us, I don't know anybody that I've met or even played against or coached that is able to keep her in front of them. I love how she described how she is on the defensive end. She said she's like a gnat that doesn't go away. She's fun to watch, a dynamic point guard whose IQ has grown tremendously.
Let's go back to the floor with Brooke Kirchhofer.
During the last time out, Houston's Leilani Ogman went off to the side with the trainer, took her shoe off on her left foot, and had her ankle retaped. As we know, injuries have been an issue for Houston. A lot of players dealing with nagging injuries right now. That's one for Ogman, but she is not out. She just had the ankle retaped and will be back on the floor soon. Coach, it looked like you were wrestling a little bit with maybe wanting to challenge that. What's going through your mind seeing that one?
I mean, I think sometimes we get caught.
On a positive note, seeing Maddie Hartley get that solo home run, I know you've been wanting to see the fruits of their labor be shown with having more confidence at the plate. How good was it to see that from her?
It was awesome.
Both Houston and North Texas like to give their star players their flowers. For Houston, they have 4 of these belts that Coach Huey started handing out during the regular season last year. Now, I'm holding the I'm Her belt. There's also the Queen of Dimes, Queen of Steals, and Queen of Boards, and whoever earns this belt gets to keep it until the next game. Now, for North Texas, they hand out these 2 chains. They give the top dog chain to the player of the game after wins, and then the dog mentality chain goes to the player who shows the most toughness and grit. We'll see who earns these in today's game. Joined now by head coach Jason Burton as he celebrates the win, rightfully so. Coach, what did you guys do well in the second half?
Play defense.
You talked about the chains at the beginning of the game, the top dog and the dog mentality. Who's getting those awards?
It's probably got to be this one right here and then me.